If you're always experiencing life with the same group of people all the time, your growth will be impacted with that, because when you put yourself in different environments, it makes you uncomfortable.
People have roles in each other's lives they are meant to play, and many of those roles are not permanent, and that is beautiful because it'll allow space for other roles that are going to be filled by other people. All right, everyone, welcome back to episode 3 of The Listening Circle. My name is Anisha Leroya, and I'm here with my mother, Harleen Leroya. And today's topic is one that's a little bit more nuanced that we're going to be talking about. Everyone loves growing. Everyone loves improving themselves. It is so central to our lives.
Mm-hmm.
But something we don't often talk about is the grief of growth. AKA when you have to lose everyone in order to ascend to your next level.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Mom, I know that you've been through many phases of your life. I always say I have had multiple different mothers. And so I know that this is something that you know very well, the grief of outgrowing the social circles that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was wondering if there was one sort of starting point you would talk about in terms of the grief of growth and outgrowing people, what would it be?
I think one of the biggest things in terms of growth and, as you outgrow people around you, one thing I wanted to say is as you're evolving through life, you don't lose everyone. You only lose the people that are not meant for the future that you're building. So, what I mean by that is those are people that came into your life for a season, but they're just not meant forever. So, we have people in our life that come for a reason, season, or forever. And I think as humans, because we love comfort and we love, knowing everyone around us and feeling comfortable within our group and our friends, and being in university, being in schools, we always have a group of friends. So when now you start to change and you start to improve, you can sometimes scare them if they are not growing or learning or don't have the same mindset as you. And that actually, even you've probably faced, where they start to almost drag you down in order to make themselves feel good.
Well, so what I've noticed is that everyone vibrates at a certain frequency. We exist in frequencies. And when you are surrounded by a specific friend group, that is the frequency you are in. And there's nothing wrong with that. But then when you start to vibrate at a different frequency, on a subconscious level, your friends can sense it. Your family can sense it. People around you can sense it. And human beings are naturally averse to change.
Mm-hmm.
They are averse. We do not like difference.
Mm-hmm.
And so now when you are vibrating at a different frequency, even though subconsciously we can only sense it, we can't really sense it consciously. Your friend group is not going to enjoy noticing how different you are.
Yeah.
Because we don't like difference. It's our nature.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think a huge thing with this topic is understanding fundamentally that there's nothing wrong with any of the people that you are misaligned with as you continue in your life. I think the minute we feel like it is other people's fault, it becomes an ego illusion.
Mm-hmm.
All it is that you are now operating at a different frequency.
Mm-hmm.
And that frequency is not fully aligned with the old frequencies of the groups you were in.
Yeah.
The minute you start to look at them and say, they couldn't keep up, they this, they that, you are actually just feeding into your own ego and trying to feel better about something that is natural, which is simply moving apart. It's the reason, season, or
forever.
Lesson.
Yeah. I totally agree with that, because I do think that when you operate at the different frequency, or that, you have learned new things that make you a better person, make you show up better in your marriage or as a parent, and, you're meeting people now that are vibrating at that same frequency or are doing similar things to you, what also happens is with the group that you were there with before, you start to lack relatability. And I think that lack of relatability is what actually leads us to get apart. And we sometimes, like, I personally felt bad about it. It was like, oh my God, like, it was so much fun. And why did I lose these people? Because mine is a longer story. I came to realize that had I not lost those people in my life, I would not be who I am today.
Mm-hmm.
Mentally, spiritually, just overall as a human, I would still be the same. So it's almost like that quote I heard where they said that if you're always experiencing life with the same group of people all the time, your growth will be impacted with that, because when you put yourself in different environments, it makes you
Mm-hmm.
uncomfortable. And that discomfort is what helps you grow.
I heard someone say the other day, before you ascend, you will lose everything. That
Mm-hmm.
includes people. That includes
Mm-hmm.
people. God will take people, universe, whatever you want to call it, will take people out of your life who are not going to be able to be around you at your highest level. And that is natural. It will happen even if you don't want it to. That's the thing. They will drop out of your life like flies. Even if you're trying to hold on to those relationships with like chains, it
Mm-hmm.
does not matter. Those chains will be broken by
But
force.
what do we say to, like, when you have people around you and you're changing, you're evolving, it is very hard because those people start to put you down, or they say, "Oh, what do you think you are? Oh my God, you're different. You're not the same Harleen I knew before, or the same Anisha we knew before." Um, how do we help others? Like, how do we help others understand how we got over that? Like, how did we manage that?
The only way you can face criticism is by being solid in the new character you are. People are going to say you've changed and things like that. But if you intrinsically understand that that change was a good thing, it's not an insult to your ears anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, yeah, I did change.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for the reminder.
Yeah, that's amazing.
There is nothing wrong with changing. Do you know how many people in my life are like, oh, but you did this at 18? Yeah, I was 18.
Yep.
I love her. I love that version of me. And I love me now even more.
Yeah,
It's that simple. And so when somebody says, like, you used to be like this, you used to be like that, it's not an insult. Because I'm like, oh my God, thank you for reminding me how far I've come.
that's
Thank you for
amazing way.
reminding me how much work I've done. Thank you
Yeah,
for reminding me that my effort has led to something. You are seeing the change that I've been trying to make visible.
yeah.
What a gift. And so that reframe is what allows us to cope.
Mm-hmm.
That reframe doesn't make that, it's not criticism. When people are saying that, it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with how uncomfortable the new you is making them. That's
Yep.
it. So if you take it as such, and
Mm-hmm.
if you take it as, for example, let's say someone loses weight. If
Mm-hmm.
someone looks at you and you've worked your ass off to lose weight, and they're like, oh my God, you've lost tons of weight, you're like, yeah, I have.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, hell yeah, I've lost weight. Why is it not the same with mental growth?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it not the same? You've been doing the work, you've been journaling, you've been doing the shadow work, you've been turning inward in a way that's so difficult. And somebody's like, wow, you've changed. Even if it's negative, why do we
Yeah.
not take it the same way as if you've lost weight? It's the same as the physical. That's
Yeah.
all growth.
And I
So,
think that's such a lovely way of looking at it.
mhm. Yeah. So next time someone in your life, when you've been doing the work, is like, oh, you're different, you've changed, think, oh, yeah, it's showing.
Yeah.
I'm putting in the reps behind the
Yeah.
scenes and now it's getting visible. What a gift.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah. I think
that's.
that's pretty awesome. What about so there are a few things when you change that happen, right? So one is people first start to criticize you,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they first criticize, they say you've changed, they don't want to accept you, the new you. The second stage I almost feel is realization, which takes years. Some people do realize after years and years that you were right. The path you took takes you to a destination that nobody had thought.
I think it's so important to remember, based off what you're saying, that the grief of growth goes both ways.
Mm.
The people around you will grieve the old you, and that's okay. It goes both ways. It goes
Mm-hmm.
both ways. If you grow on a fundamental level, you do change. And they will grieve the version of you that existed before, the
Yeah.
same way you do. you'll grieve it too. And you'll grieve the friendship you were able to carry with them. It goes both ways.
Yeah.
It's not something that's one-sided.
But sometimes I find like growth can be lonely,
Very.
right?
It was for you.
Very lonely.
Yeah.
In those moments of loneliness, I think what took me through was definitely my soul, family, people who helped me get to the place I had to get to. Um, and also, doing a lot of work on myself, whether it was attending conferences, attending, seminars. That's what truly took me to the next level. So for people who feel lonely in that space when they're evolving, and if they look at themselves 5 years ago, they can see how far they've come. The one thing I want to leave them with, or also tell them, is that, that's what worked for me, is finding my tribe, which was different from the tribe I had earlier.
Well, see, the thing is, if you vibrate at a different frequency for long enough, you're going to attract a new tribe around it. Plain and simple. And also, you're going to put yourself in places where you can meet them. It's like what you did. You were at the right seminars, you were at the right conferences, you were able to find like minded people, no matter how lonely it got. I do also believe that in a lot of ways, when people are dropping off during your growth phase, it's a test. In a lot of ways, I believe the universe is testing how solid you are in that growth. I think it is a test. And I think if you pass the test, the gift is a new set of people who align
Yeah.
with you. It's almost like levels in a video game. It's like, okay, you're acting this growth phase out. The test is, though, how solid can you stay in it when things get uncomfortable? Because that's uncomfortable when you start to get lonely. That's really uncomfortable. You got to sit with yourself.
Yeah. And I think just for everybody to understand kind of where I'm coming from was my divorce, which in my family was the first divorce in the family. Nobody had ever taken a step like this before. I had 2 young kids, and I don't know if I didn't know back in the time whether I'm doing the right thing or not. But I knew it wasn't right for me. The marriage wasn't right for me. So I had to take a stand. So at that point is where I lost all my friends and my family for some time. The family came around, but I think that was one of the loneliest times of my life, the 2 years after that. But yet also the most fruitful time in my life when my journey began. I almost feel like that was the rebirth.
It was the pivot.
Yeah.
We all have lifelines, right? And it's moments like that where usually it's like the great pivot. It's where the biggest shedding happens. It's those moments in life where you actually, I don't believe personally that we have life written out. I believe we have paths. And so it's like at that point in life, you come to a bifurcation where whatever decision you make sets you on a new journey. And the thing is, when you make the decision that sets you on the different path, you can't bring the people that were on the previous path most of the time. They're not going to be, it's a different path. That's not a path they know. That's like, they can't even see the sidewalk there. They're not going to walk along. It makes no sense for them
And that's
to.
Okay.
And that's fine.
As
That's
hard as it is
hard to swallow.
in those times, like I remember those times and how depressing it could get. But looking in hindsight, it was one of the most beautiful times in my life for what was yet to come. Because the other thing that's always stuck with me that I think we all want to remember always in life is certain concepts like impermanence. Nothing in life is permanent. And the problem is every relationship we have, we try to hold on to it with our dear life because we want it forever.
Permanence is one of the greatest ego illusions.
Exactly. So to me, if we accept impermanence as a part of our life, guess what? It doesn't matter.
It's funny that when you're not focused on everything lasting forever, how much more you can enjoy it in the moment and appreciate it for what it was.
Exactly. Yeah. And you never try to hold on to it for more than what it has to be.
Yeah. And a huge part of that is mastering detachment.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding that people have roles in each other's lives they are meant to play, and many of those roles are not permanent, and that is beautiful because it'll allow space for other roles that are going to be filled by other people. It's it's a difficult thing to master. It takes a long time for most. But the minute you become familiar with detachment but care, like it's
Mm-hmm.
not becoming cold. When I say
Yeah.
detachment, I'm not saying like take ashwagandha and become numb to everything.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm saying understanding that just because you care for someone does not mean that they owe you a lifetime,
Yeah.
because that's not the role they're meant to play.
Yeah.
Neither of you will benefit off of having that lifetime together.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's friendship, whether it's relationships, like it applies to everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important for us to kind of understand that we want to put ourselves in situations and around people where we are thriving, where we are mentally understanding each other. And when you walk away from that, one thing I always follow is, did you feel a 10 on 10 or did you really feel a 6 on 10? And you were putting yourself in 6 on 10 because that's what you're used to. And you think that's normal.
A good piece of advice for people who are kind of on the brink of things, for people who are currently going through change and they don't know if their friend group is aligned for them or if their friends are meant for them. People who are meant for your next chapter in life will not shit on it.
No.
People who are meant to be part of whatever that next step is for you will not try to persuade you away from it. It's that simple. They will
The-
not try to tear it down. They will not try to make themselves feel better because you were taking that step, because that's usually why people tear it down. It's completely projection. It has nothing to do with you. They won't do any of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you find yourself in circles where anything you say is lit on fire and publicly shamed, that they're not meant for that chapter that you're embarking on.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah. And those people, actually, the ones who are meant for your next chapter, will be your biggest cheerleaders.
Mm-hmm. When things get difficult, they will be there to tell you to keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They will be. And I had those people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so thankful for those people because they were the ones who made me believe I was meant for more.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me was very powerful. That what I had accepted my life was going to be was not what it meant to be. And I'm so glad for that because fast forward decade and a half, my life is completely different, right? So to me, those cheerleaders is what you want to surround with. It's almost like what Reese Witherspoon said, and I love that quote. She goes, and it's her grandma's quote, actually. There are two kinds of people. There's radiators and there's drains. And she goes, you want to surround yourself with people that are radiators because they radiate energy for life, for you, for being your biggest cheerleader, to encouraging you on no matter how hard the path gets. And then you've got the drains, which just suck the life out of you, no matter what direction you're going in, no matter what you're doing, and no matter how uncertain the future is. You want to surround yourself with those radiators. And I think that quote just stuck with me.
I'll tell you this too. The only way for someone to be a radiator is if they have light already. I think the easiest way to keep a friend is to make sure that friend is happy.
Mm-hmm.
It's with themselves. It has nothing to do with you. It
Yep.
has nothing to do with your it has everything to do with their relationship with themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I love that radiator quote
I
because
know.
it's so true.
It is. So, sorry, you were.
No,
I was
go
going to say that if we had to, like, now, given what we touched on growth and what happens in growth, how would you summarize that journey and how to deal with relationships along that journey?
Have the same grace for people in your life that you would want them to have for you. We all have phases. We all have stages that require more growth or less out of all of us. Just because you are growing away from them
Mm-hmm.
does not mean that they are necessarily wrong. I think it's so important to understand that reality is subjective.
Mm-hmm.
And if we release the they are wrong and I am right and I'm growing and they can't keep up, is actually when we release our anger. And the anger and the sadness is what makes it hard. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you truly have an abundance mindset and you're like, you know what? People will come into my life who I'm aligned with again. It won't be that hard. But it takes, usually people have to learn that the hard way. But if you're someone who's going through it right now, just understand that the universe, God, again, whoever you may call them, but the greater power will only take people out of your life to make space for something better. That's it. And it doesn't mean those old people were bad. It is so, so important for your karma to look back at them with gratefulness.
Yeah.
Because when we believe we are above is when there's actually no growth happening at all.
Yeah. That's ego.
That's ego. There's nothing going on there. You are not above them.
No.
You are just growing away.
Yeah. I think that's such a beautiful way of putting it, is to thank them for what they brought into your life and to understand the concept of growing away and impermanence and acceptance. I think that's beautiful.
Yeah. So on that note, thank you guys so much for tuning in. This was an awesome episode, and I can't wait to yap again.
I know.
Take care.
Take care.